So with this film, when you first read the script, what drew you to it?
I love the classic British banter that Vaughan kind of uses so wonderfully. He's a very articulate man. Vaughan is the writer-director of the film, and has the broadest vocabulary of anyone I know. He speaks so eloquently. He's hilarious, but he also has a deep fascination with a lot of morbid things, and he also has a deep appreciation of noir cinema. So kind of seeing him wrap all those things together and weave it into these characters and the narrative and the storyline was just an entirely bizarre script to read. It was just unlike any, I'd read dialogue scenes and 9 pages later they're still having their conversation, and that just never happens normally in a script. So I loved it. It was just unusual.
And I was going to ask as well about your accent in the film. Mm-hmm. Who influenced that for you, or is that just kind of from living in London? That was
a bit of both. I said earlier, weirdly, I do try and find someone whose accent I really like, and then try and pick certain characteristics about it, and then inject it into the character's accent. And Rita Ora, I love her accent. I told her, I was like, I'm going to try and do your accent for a character. It's so good. But yeah, sometimes I find people online, just on YouTube, who, for one character I played, there was like a 13-year-old girl who lived in the Midwest and had her own blog on YouTube, and I loved her accent, so I used it for a character. You can find it all over the place. As long as there's a lot of it online that you can listen to, that's what I normally do.
Does Rita know that you kind of were listening to her?
I think I told her, yeah. I mean, it was a while ago. We shot this 2.5 years ago, but I think I told her at the time, yeah.
And you were a producer on this as well. Mm-hmm. How did that change the way you acted in it at all?
No. I mean, it was obviously more demanding on my time, but it was. I think it made me better as an actor to be more immersed in the world and to understand why every decision's being made. Because sometimes you walk on a set as an actor and you're not privy to so much information, so you're kind of sitting there and you're like, oh, I never pictured it like this, or I didn't know we're going to be... When you're a producer, it's like you were there for every location scout, you were there when everything was chosen, and every prop and everything, and every decision that got made. You've done hours and hours and hours of conversation back and forth, should we do this, should we do that? So you already know why everything is there, and all the reasons that someone wanted it, your designers, your production designer, costume designer, whoever. So it's nice to be a part of the process. You feel more immersed in it when you get to the acting part.
So definitely something you want to keep on doing.
Yeah, not always. Last year I did Mary Queen of Scots, and I wasn't a producer on that, and it was lovely just to be acting on that, actually. Some of the, producing headaches, I was like, I don't have to worry about it. If we're going overtime, that's not my problem, thank God. It's nice to do a bit of both.
Is directing something you'd ever like to try your hand at as well?
I would like to, yeah. Not yet. Not for a couple of years, I don't think, but I would like to.
And The Enemy is a music magazine, so I was going to ask,
cool.
If you could produce one person's music video, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. One person's music video. Who's the band? They always do rad video clips, and they did the Zero Gravity Plane one. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, is it OK Go?
Yeah. I feel like they always do fun video clips.
Yeah,
that involve some sort of like extreme sports or something really bizarre. That'd be fun.
Be excellent fun.
Yeah.
So visually as well, I was going to ask about the film. It's stunning. Did you have much control over kind of picking the locations and stuff, and how exciting was that?
We did a lot of. Obviously, we scouted in London first, but we couldn't really find. Vaughan was very specific with how he described the world in his script. This dilapidated grandeur, this megalithic city. Like all these things that you're trying to find in a practical space, and we couldn't really find it in London. And then we went to Budapest and just like lost our minds. Everything was stunning, and since then a few of our locations have been used in some other really wonderful movies, so we were quite chuffed that we even had the same locations as them. So I got to have a big say in that, which was really fun. And then of course our DP, our production designer, set dressers, everyone just really enhanced it and elevated it to a totally different level, which was awesome to watch.